The guy who at the end of the video said, this is Formula One, is Stefano Domenicali. He's the CEO of Formula One. He was supposed to be here on stage with us today, but unfortunately he had to catch a flight because he's going to Melbourne for the Grand Prix of Formula One in Australia. But he wanted to give us, to deliver at least a very small message on the importance of team working and inclusion, which is one of the key, of course, messages for all of us in Next. So let's listen to what he said about it.
Hi, everyone, and thanks ISPI, Università Bocconi, and OECD for this opportunity to be part of this very important forum. We are Formula One, so we need to be very effective. So I go straight to the point of your question. In Formula One, we put and we prepare 24 Super Bowl in terms of size, in terms of scale, and in terms of proportion. You need to have a strong team in order to develop and deliver this incredible entertainment program. I think that the key factor of the success of Formula One today, on track, out of track, all around the world, is to make sure that all the competent people are part of this project. And without the collaboration, without the fact that there has to be a clear organization that has to be very inclusive, you cannot have the success that we are having. So that's a priority on our way to work, because unique stars cannot make the difference. We are a teamwork. We represent the people that needs to make the difference for our sport.
Formula One is speed, and definitely the message was very speedy. So now let me switch gears, no pun intended, because sport definitely is something providing energy, but is also an incredible driver for peace and inclusion. So now let me invite you to watch the next video. Don't watch it with your eyes, try to watch it with your heart, please. Invite on stage Simone Barlan and Martina Caironi. Thank you. Let me read what these two guys have made, because it's incredible. Simone Barlan is a swimmer, we know it. Paralympic gold in the 50-meter freestyle at Tokyo 2020, we saw it. 19-time world champion. How old are you?
23.
In how many lives you did it?
Just one so far. So.
It's incredible. Martina is an incredible, one of Italy's greatest athletes, and win 2 Paralympic, 5 world, and 2 European titles. It's really impressive. So my first question for you is, we know that you went through a lot of problems, and you had to fight to find your place and to make your voice heard, which is, by the way, one of the moments that we have keep repeating over the last 2 days here at Next. So, in your experience, what does it take to overcome problems, to overcome also sad moments, and to win in sport and well beyond, as you have done? Let's start from you. No, ladies first this time. No, okay. We start from the guy. Okay.
Well, in my experience, what really helped me was being surrounded by people who cared about me and loved me. So during my tough moments, that really helped me. Also because it's very hard to take all the pain and the suffering just by yourself. So sharing that weight with other people around you, I found it very helpful, and so try to open up with the person next to you, even though it doesn't seem easy most of the time, and it's not easy, but it's really helpful. And once you're strong enough to show that you're weak sometimes, and to admit the weakness that is normal, it's part of the human nature, it's a very crucial thing in the growth of everyone, I think.
Martina.
Well, in my opinion, to overcome adversities, you need to have courage. To have courage to step forward and to go outside your comfort zone. From my experience, I realized that it's very important to have the self-awareness. So don't be shy, don't hesitate to watch inside of you, explore yourself, talk with people, and then again try to find your strengthness. Strength?
Your strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's right. The strengthness makes it more
stronger.
complete.
Yes, for example, I had an accident when I was 18 years old. I don't want to talk about this too much because we don't have so many time.
No.
And one of the first great challenge that I had was to come back home and find my body different. I didn't like my body anymore. I found myself like an amputee, mutilated body, and I didn't recognize myself. But then I also realized that I was alive and that I have all my life in front of me. So when I got my first prosthetic leg, here we are using prosthetic legs, everybody was staring at me. I felt like insecure. I had doubt of myself. But I never I never stop. I mean, I always try to improve. So that's the point. When you have a struggle, don't stop. Just try to go forward because there's something new there waiting for you. And in fact, sport was a part of this new challenge, of this new world. Our world is the sport one. And thanks to sport, I can talk for me, but also for many Paralympic athletes, sport is very important for overcoming adversities because you can learn how to overcome them, how to challenge yourself. So after that, I became to run, and I became to won many medals. But I'm not here only because of my medals. We are models, not for Armani, maybe he's model of Armani, but we are models. It's true. It's true, isn't it?
They don't believe
Okay.
it, apparently. I
It's
don't
true,
know.
it's the reality. We are models because we transmit the Paralympic values, and that's the biggest achievement, in my opinion.
Your smile is incredibly telling, really. I'm honored. Let me ask you something, because in Next, of course, inevitably, since we cover global challenges, we have been talking about wars, about divisions. Actually, this is not the community we're building here at Next. There are 1,000 people coming from over 60 countries all over the world. This is a community, global community, which overcomes diversity, which overcomes, all these confrontations, all these rivalries around the world. And, we have this, maybe it's a wishful thinking or it's just a dream. We think that sport is different than reality. We think that in sport you overcome, nationality, race, color of your skin, the taste in sex, whatever. You go well over that. But over the last 2-3 years, we have seen so many conflicts on the rise, so many wars. So in your experience as athletes, do you see that something changed also in sport? Because this is not something I want to hear, but if it is like this, please share it with us.
Well, most of the times I think it is like this, and it should be like this. And I think Martina she can tell us about a direct experience that she had with this kind of confrontation in Beijing. So maybe she has more depth in knowledge in this kind of topic.
No, but please continue.
No. I mean, of course. I mean, these kind of conflicts should stay out of sport, of course, because sport is something that should put everyone on the same level and sharing the same rules, the same pool, the same field, the same basketball or whatever. And unfortunately, sometimes in history it hasn't been like this, and also in very recent history. But of course, I really hope that in future, sport is going to be even more of a message of equality and of course, not really caring about where you're from and just enjoying and competing for the same thing that we all love all over the world.
But if you have to think of one episode over the last 2 years in which you saw some athletes or some of your colleagues who have been discriminated because of his nationality, for instance, this is something that you saw with your eyes in your experience?
I didn't see it directly. She did probably,
Okay,
but
I'll say that.
and so I think she can tell us more about that. But of course, there's a lot of nations recently, just after COVID, that have been under these kind of conflicts, and of course, it's they have consequence on their participation and everything in these kind of games. So yeah.
Martina, please.
Yes, as Simone said, sports create like a bubble. Into this bubble, athletes can compete with the same regulations and without no discrimination and leveling the social differences and cultural differences. But it happened, unfortunately, for example, in the Winter Paralympic Games in Beijing 2022. I was there representing the athletes because I represent athletes at an international level because I'm into the Athlete Council of IPC, and I was there. And during, one day before the beginning of the Paralympic Games in Beijing, remember, February 2022, the Paralympic truce was violated because Russia invaded Ukraine. And so I saw the sad scene of the athletes of Russian and Belarusian that was expelled from the Paralympic village. So I saw them with their luggage going away. That was, I think, the worst moment of my experience in the Paralympic Games, because I was shocked. And at that moment, it was an emergency situation. So the decision was taken due to this violation. After 1 year, a General Assembly was reunited again, and the board of the IPC decided to readmit the athletes who come back to the competition and who will compete again in Paris in the next Summer Paralympic Games as neutral athletes. So what is the message here? The message is that sport saves them, saves the athletes and their dreams. And this is a huge message. If we would be able to do this, to see the importance of the people, the importance of each single person, and the value of their single life, maybe we will be able to improve and to change the world in our little, situation.
Thank you so much. Now, we have just a few minutes to take a couple of questions from you, for them, for our athletes. Please, I see a hand over there. Please, give him the microphone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for serving as role models, and thank you for being here. You talked about conflicts that should stay outside of sports. But what about within sports competitive dynamics? Because at the end of the day, you are partaking in competitive sports. How do you manage these? And how do you prevent healthy competition from turning into unhealthy antagonism? Thank you.
Fair competition. We have Bocconi students knows that we talk about fair competition. Okay, so what can you say about this? How to be fair also in your sport, in any sport?
Well, as long as the competition, of course, is fair, I mean, my mindset is to the moment before I dive into the pool and the moment after I've touched the wall, everyone is my friend. So the competitive side of it just stays in the pool, in the sport act. And if it gets taken outside, I think it gets more personal, and it's not very healthy for the sport. And as long as we preserve a fair competition, I think this is a very healthy way to live sport and what makes it enjoyable even in a competitive way.
Sure. Martina?
Well, there are many controls from the IPC to be sure that there's no manipulation during the competition. So athletes are monitored, and also the federations and the committees, because the fair sport is the only sport that we know and we want to practice. And if we think again about the outside, the conflict that is affected now, the Ukrainian and you think about the athletes that will compete together on the same field, you can imagine them competing against Russian and Belarusian, fighting for the medal, not fighting for something else, and sharing the same values, the same passion for sport, the same effort. And hopefully this will help, I don't know who, but us to better understand that is the only way to communicate, to to share something and not to be divided. And so there won't be any victims on the field of play, because it's a field of play where you compete for medals and not for territories or what else.
And I think this is really the best way. Let's compete in sport and let everything else aside. Thank you very much, Martina, Simone. Thank you so much.